see you, sir.
Stuff in my face.
I know.
All good.
Record. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The time is 3:01. This is the board meeting of the Tech City Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors meeting. Today is November 19th. The time is 3:01, and we'll begin with our posted agenda item. We do have a quorum present, and we'll begin with our roll call, starting all the way to my right.
Brandon Brooks, Director.
Phil Roberts, Director.
Randy Deedle, Director.
Dedrick Johnson, Director.
Mark Chevalier, Director. Thank you. Agenda item number 3, which is conflict of interest declarations. Have we any conflicts of interest to declare on the agenda items today? Sensing none, we'll move to agenda item number 4, public comments. Are there any members of the public that would like to make a comment at this time? Sensing none, we'll move to agenda item 5, which is consideration and approval of the Economic Development Corporation Board meeting minutes from October 15th. These have been previously disseminated. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to said minutes? Sensing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the October 15th meeting of the Board of Directors of the Texas City EDC. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes and the minutes are approved unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6, new business. 6A, discussion and takes action on election of officers and oath of officers for the Texas City Economic Development Corporation Board. So this is usually when the
you know
train
what's coming, don't you?
the train starts chugging along and moving. So is there a motion in any regard?
I think this board has been doing such a great job in its current form.
Yeah.
I think everybody, I would move that everybody maintain their positions and keep their offices moving forward unless there's somebody who desires differently.
I second that motion.
All right. Is there further discussion? Sensing none and sensing the futility of the same, the chair would entertain a motion to approve that motion. And all in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. So is it this point that we need to recite our oaths, or do they need to be just simply executed for the record?
We can do it now.
Okay.
You guys ready?
So do we have I don't have a copy of it.
We
Is it everyone or just the officers?
I thought it was just the officers.
Just the officers.
Just the
Okay.
officers.
Thank
I made more, but I wasn't sure.
Okay.
But I
Just the
think it was just the
officers.
officers.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Okay, great. Do we stand?
we don't
Okay.
have to.
Raise your right hand. I
I, Mark Chevalier,
Randy Deedle.
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office
of the office of chairperson of the Texas City Economic Development Corporation, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. You did good. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. You just gonna sign yours, or you want
It
to?
says the chairperson.
So what you're gonna do, we're sorry for that mistype. He's gonna do his again, and then you'll just say your office for
I
your
see.
position.
Okay.
This is the chairperson, and then you would be,
I see.
state your office.
Unless you would like to be chairperson.
You can go ahead and do his as well.
Okay. I
I, Randy Deedle,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Vice Chairperson
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Vice Chairperson
of Texas City Economic Development Corporation,
of the Texas City Economic Development Corporation,
and I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend
will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Right, great. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Okay, moving to agenda item 6B, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-35, approving the actions of the officers of Tech City Economic Development Corporation for the fiscal year 2024-2025. Typically the ratification action, is that correct, Mr. Brand?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, or Mr. Chair. Just as you stated, every year our city attorney recommends that all of our boards, our corporations, pass a similar resolution to this in order to make sure that all the actions of the board were agreed upon by the entire board on an annual basis.
All right, do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-35. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6C, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-36, authorizing the fiscal year 2026 Economic Development Corporation budget. Ms. Edwards.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, and my board directors. As you may recall, in May of 2025, we presented this group with a draft budget for submission during the budget process for the city. With no immediate objections, staff submitted the amounts that were presented for the budget process, meeting with Finance Director Cynthia Rushing as well as Mayor Dedrick Johnson. The attached EDC budget was approved as part of the city's annual budget on September 30th, 2025. While the adopted budget does not necessarily reflect the exact amounts that were submitted, primarily there was some moving around in some of the new accounts that were created, it is within the parameters of the overall city budget that was adopted. So as a result, staff may request budget adjustments throughout the year, such as an item we'll consider here in a few minutes regarding a golf course bridge replacement. Another item that I wanted to bring to your attention that we might consider at some point, during the budget process, we submitted a job description for an assistant director. This individual would assist me in the position of director as well as focus on retail attraction, manufacturing attraction, etc. We have also discussed this item with our mayor, and I hope to have the EDC's support on that item.
Thank you. Questions?
Could you scroll back to the first page? The second item, Kristen, contractual services, is that, what is in that big number there this time? The 3,836,000.
This year, we have a fairly sizable amount dedicated to Colliers for the road design, route study, and 30% drawings. There are other items in there that I'm happy to detail for you following the meeting.
Engineering design and the rest is actually construction?
No, sir. So right now, the Colliers agreement that we're in right now, which extends until the end of 26, included a route study that they're concluding the first week of December with a route to be presented to us, and then the first 30% of drawings. That will take until the end of 2026 to generate. Then we would possibly continue to work with Colliers to get those designs from 30 to 100%, but that's after this agreement is completed. We did also dedicate, per your approval in the last meeting, over $460,000 for assistance with the Central Park Boulevard project.
How's that coming?
I've not received an update from Kim, but I think we're all excited about moving forward with the designs that ARC Engineers has put forth.
There was a, great.
Contract with the architect or with the engineer has been approved, and they're under development at this time. I think it was approved at the last commission meeting.
And there was a significant amount in that where we had initially proposed to build a 2-lane highway with coming back to make it a 4-lane highway later, but we decided to go ahead and do the engineering scope for the entire 4-lane highway and with some EDC assistance. So that's where we are on that. Is this part of some of that bond issues for the Galveston County as well?
Yes.
So ultimately, when the road is constructed, yes, we will get reimbursed for the actual construction of that second section. And then, but it doesn't cover the entire cost of the entire project. And the EDC has approved funding for that as well.
At a later date, we'll come back to you for additional funding during the process of finishing design and construction, but that's later.
Thank you,
Can you
Commissioner.
tell us why fiscal year proposed budget doesn't have salaries included in it?
It does. It's the first line.
Oh, I was looking at the graphic. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. That's a fair point. I don't even see a sliver on there.
Yeah, no problem. I was just looking at the graphic.
There it is.
It is also worth noting that when you look at that top page and you see contractual services, that represents several lines within this budget, not only including professional fees, but also our contracts with Yellowstone Mowing, for example, our mowing contract, ongoing maintenance of our festoon lighting on 6th Street, and several other fairly big ticket items. So that $3 million number does represent the combination of some of our heavier line items in the budget, just as an FYI.
Tell us a little bit why the projections from FY '25 jumped up times about 700% on the professional fees, from 142,000 to a little over $1 million.
That figure is not accurate, to my understanding. We definitely had a healthy professional fees budget last year and did pay out of that. I am happy to go back and provide you with what we actually spent by the end of the fiscal year for a proper comparison. This was a page from the draft budget, or the budget that was approved on September 30th, but I do think that there's a little bit of tweaking to be done there.
On which side? On the proposed budget or the FY '25?
On the FY25 projections.
Okay. Even if we look at '23 and '24, tell us what can we anticipate in the significant increase of the professional fees?
A big chunk of that was the Collier's agreement, Mr. Mayor.
That was approximately $643,000.
Right.
Got it. And does this budget anywhere account for the portion of contributions to the new municipal complex? Is that in FY '26 or '27?
That's in the fund balance.
Got it.
Kristen, the business incentive, 415,000, is that part of the Phoenix issues down there, or is that something else?
Yes, sir. We do pull funding for the Phoenix out of that line.
Okay.
We also pull our big grants, our chamber grants, our 6th Street grants, and we have money earmarked for the 1867 Settlement District project, should that ever get off the ground.
So we've received a fair amount of grant money in various arenas, I guess, throughout the year, or plan to be coming in again for '26.
Yes, sir. And as we've discussed previously, I do have specific amounts assigned to each of those grants. So in other words, there is a limit to the amount of grant funding that we would issue based on category.
I think, at least I would like to know, I think that's interesting to know that we're afforded those type of grants and approximately how much that amounts to, so the benefit to the city.
Regarding demolition.
Yes, sir.
I know that's a number that ebbs and flows each year. And there are times when structures are not really on our radar, but due to their condition, they get on our radar.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything Do we have any big demolition projects scheduled in the upcoming year?
Yes, sir, we do. There is an item on our agenda that I'll present later that asks for your permission to earmark $400,000 for the demolition of 4 multifamily units. That would obviously reduce our available budget by the vast majority. You said it well. It's hard to know what buildings are going to come up. If we would have a retail center come up for demolition, we would come back to you to ask for a budget adjustment in that event. But we went with this figure based on previous spends and just trying to be a little bit more conservative.
Okay, thank you.
Do we foresee any of these demolitions to have a reimbursement clause, or is it just EDC taking care of it?
I believe that's the case, that we're supposed to be reimbursed. I believe that is the case for the ones we're presenting today, the 4 demolitions totaling $400,000.
Mayor, I think you're also asking, like, if, for an example, there's a lien on the property and it's demolished. That's not reflected here, but that would be reflected in revenues elsewhere. Or it could, if ultimately it was spent by EDC, it would then go back into the revenue line item.
Okay.
Back into EDC.
For the EDC, yeah.
But it's
Yep.
not forecasted for those revenues to come in because we don't know what they are.
Don't know when they would be.
And there's
Or-
also the timing issue there. We don't know when that could be some period of time.
If I do.
Precisely.
Understand.
Okay, any other questions about the proposed budget? All right, sensing none, the chair would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve this budget. Obviously, I would like to, just want to make sure, asterisk or footnote the fact that we'll come back with some accurate figures on the professional fees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the budget with a note as noted by the movement. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. In the absence of an objection or motion otherwise, we're going to move to item 6E at the request of staff. Discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-38, authorizing an incentive grant to support bridge replacement project at the Bayou Golf Course.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So items 6E and 6D are related. 6E presents the case for an incentive grant to support a bridge replacement project at the Bayou Golf Course. And item D, should we move to that, is for a budget adjustment to support that. So I'm going to provide a little bit of background. Nicole Miller and 2 of her staff that are working on this project as well are here to answer technical questions that I never could. So we'll start with the background. The Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department has approached the EDC to seek additional funding for a bridge replacement project at Bayou Golf Course. The specific bridge in need connects holes 12 to holes 13, 14, and 15, allowing golfers to maintain the pace of play and complete the loop for those 3 holes. The existing bridge is believed to be about 30 years old and was initially installed by the Public Works Department. The Parks, Recreation, Tourism Department is requesting funding to replace this bridge with a new structure similar in design and look to those in place at Bay Street Park and Garza Park. In the attachments to this item, you'll see examples of what those look like. A total of $300,000 was requested and approved in the fiscal 25 budget to cover all costs associated with this effort. However, the recent bid opening for the project came in higher than was initially estimated, with the full cost of the project being around $532,042. From the original $300,000, Parks has already spent an amount or issued a purchase order in the amount of $49,917 to ARC Engineers for the design portion, leaving about $250,000 remaining. Based on the estimated cost, the department is short $281,959 for the project. With respect to the use of EDC funding for this purpose, Texas cities and counties have the authority to utilize funds from local sales tax for economic development purposes. Specifically, as a Type A corporation, the EDC is able to grant recreational and parks incentive grants, provided that the grant activity promotes economic development and stimulates business activity. During the last few years, guests have enjoyed an average of 24,877 rounds of golf, and the Recreation and Tourism, that is an average, not a total, by the way. And the Recreation and Tourism Department seeks to increase that number to 35,000 in fiscal '26. As well, the course hosts an average of 16 tournaments per year and sees an average of 22,876 golf cart rentals per year. Further, the EDC actively promotes the Bayou Golf Course as part of our quality of life attractions in all responses to requests for information from the Governor's Office and the Greater Houston Partnership for eligibility for potential projects. Put another way, the golf course is a critical part of what we present as our quality of life to these potential projects and their employees. With these factors in mind, staff is recommending the EDC approve an incentive grant in the amount of $281,959 to support this bridge replacement project.
Question.
Yes, sir.
This is the old railroad tank car that's not in that location? Okay, can we bring up a map and show where this is? That's the new one, the location of where this is gonna be.
Nicole, do you want to?
I just knew it was gonna be that old tank car thing. I mean, that's,
I'm bringing them with me.
reinforcement.
Reinforcement, yes. If you want to do Google Maps, we can pull it up. Oh, I can see it here. You can come around if you'd like. Okay, so
It layers. It layers.
This one?
you got it.
Can you scroll over to the left side of the golf course? On the sheet side.
Yes.
And you can work it and she can narrate it if you want to show us exactly where we're at.
Right here? Oh, right there.
Oh, okay. Going across the canal, okay.
So currently, Mr. Dito, that's pretty much a single wide for a golf cart.
Yeah.
Bridge, kind of dip down the metal beams, the steel beams underneath. They are bending after however many years. I think it probably
30
It's probably
or more.
It could be more than 30, but they are bending. There was some concrete eventually put on there that kind of put more stress on there. And so the concern was brought up to Public Works to, hey, what can we do here? We don't need this falling into the Gulf Coast Water Authority ditch. We already have approval from them to be able to do this work as well. But it would be closing off hole 12 to 13. But we worked with Mr. Larry from the golf course here, and we have potential routes of continuing or going around to use the other bridge to the north of there, which is the bridge they primarily use now for some of their equipment as well as trucks that are pulling trailers for the tournaments.
And that one's in pretty good shape?
The one to the north is, it's in pretty good shape. It's more of a, it's wooden. It's not as nice as the other bridge would be going from 12 to 13.
It's also single lane. The north one is wider.
It's wider.
Okay.
So it's rated at a higher rate.
But the new bridge, would be expanded to 10 feet to be able to have two-way traffic on the bridge.
Bring up the new design. Haven't we done one in the city already like that? One or two are similar, but not 2 lane wide, but
You don't want that one.
isn't there one right now going?
Yes, it's at Carlos Garza Park. They're
Yes.
doing one right now.
Yeah, that's
Or
similar.
that one's done.
Similar,
And
isn't
then at Bay Street Park.
Yeah.
So this one here is actually out at Bay Street Park that goes over to the levee. So this is a similar design that we would be doing to the golf
Is that Corten steel?
Sir, I do not know that answer. I can get back with you on that.
I mean, since it's not painted, I presume it seals itself up after a few years. Okay.
Contact is the
Contact, yeah.
The surface itself would be concrete?
Yes, sir. So what you're seeing there in the picture, in the photo, is the metal that's underneath the concrete that kind of gives way, but it would be concrete.
I believe if you scroll down, you can see the finished bridge. Or there should be another, maybe up.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, they're a little smaller. I have pictures.
You can zoom in. You can zoom in.
Zoom in on it. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good. And that one is complete then, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's the current bridge.
No, that was under construction then.
All right, thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? Sensing none, the chair would entertain a motion on resolution 2025-38.
Move to approve this grant for the bridge.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-38, authorizing incentive grant to support the bridge replacement project at the Bio Golf Course. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Now we move back to agenda item 6D, which is discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-37, authorizing a budget adjustment amendment in the amount of $281,959 to support said grant.
Thank you. So with the approval of the incentive grant in the amount of $281,959, we would request a budget adjustment wherein the finance department would be authorized to transfer that amount from undesignated fund balance Fund 801 into the fiscal 26 budget to provide the necessary funding. Just as a sidebar in terms of our revenues expected for this year, an estimated $6.48 million will be generated in sales tax revenue for the EDC specifically this year.
And we have a fund balance from the previous year of about 19 million, plus the difference between the budget you just adopted, and this is another 2 million, so there's roughly $22 million in the fund balance of the EDC.
Aren't we fortunate? Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-37, which is the budget amendment to support the Bio Golf Course grant. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6F, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-39, authorizing demolition costs for property located at 2602 21st Street North.
So the Texas City Economic Development Corporation has historically allotted and budgeted funds for commercial demolitions. The Texas City Municipal Court has recently issued abatement orders to demolish 4 apartment buildings located at 2602 21st Street North, namely buildings 11, 12, 13, and 19, which you can see delineated in the graphics that are attached to this item. The graphic illustrates which 4 buildings have been identified for demolition. So looking from above, and this is actually oriented north to south, buildings 11, 12, and 13, they're in the front corner, and building 19, they're in the back. All 4 of the abatement orders are also attached for your reference on this item. Staff estimates that the cost per demolition would be approximately $100,000 based on similar demolitions conducted in the past, with the total of 4 demolitions to be completed, bringing the total to $400,000. The City Attorney's Office has reviewed the attached abatement orders and has confirmed that the demolitions may proceed. Staff is requesting approval to utilize available funding from the EDC budget Fund 801 in an amount not to exceed $400,000 for this purpose.
Would that probably be put out as one package So are multiple choices for one bidder, one building, one bidder could bid all four?
Sir, I can't tell you that I'm familiar with the process that they use, but
It'll
George.
be one package for the whole thing.
Yes, it will be, all four buildings will be put on the bid tab, so we'll send it out, so they can bid on one or all.
Okay, thank you. Makes sense.
Any further questions or discussion on that? Sensing none, the chair would entertain a motion.
I move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-39, authorizing demolition costs for the property, certain buildings at 2602 21st Street North. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item G, 6G, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-40, authorizing a professional agreement with HDL companies for sales tax administration and compliance consulting.
Okay, so the Texas City Economic Development Corporation is funded by a portion of the sales tax generated within the city of Texas City. Further, the EDC is under active Chapter 380 sales tax refund agreements, making it imperative to effectively and often track sales tax data. Staff has met with HDL companies, which offers not only extensive sales tax reporting, which you can see detailed in their attachment, but also assistance with sales tax recovery within Texas City. Per the attached professional services proposal that was on this item, HDL would assist the city and the Economic Development Corporation in several ways, given your approval. So the first, and in my mind foremost, is sales tax reporting and consultation. HDL would provide monthly reporting, including not only our sales tax analysis report or our STAR summary, but also sales tax payment details, year-over-year reporting, special reports by request, and more. The full list of reporting that they offer is on pages 4 to 5 of the attached, and if we wanted to go into that in further detail, I'm happy to. This specific information, which HDL would collect from the comptroller with our authorization, would allow us to correctly process and manage our Chapter 380 agreements, as well as to forecast annual revenues to, again, conservatively but smartly forecast the sales tax coming in and going out to be able to manage our budget more effectively. This service carries a cost of $7,200 annually. Would y'all like to dip into the specific reporting at this point, or would you like me to continue?
This is an annual fee, base fee, $7,200?
Yes, sir.
And have we had anyone in this position before with the city?
No, sir, we haven't. And again, that's kind of why I brought up the reporting. It is extensive and very applicable reporting for our board. Quite frankly, I would like to see the reports from this group put in front of you for every monthly meeting so you're able and we're able to keep track of where all of those accounts are.
So currently it's done in-house?
No, sir.
We have nothing done in-house on this?
The finance department does oversee sales tax as they do with every other city fund.
Yeah,
But
in-house.
with this service, we would have more drilled down reporting, more actionable reporting, especially where it concerns our Chapter 380 agreements. We have not been able to process our Chapter 380 agreements based on current information within the last year or so. And this assistance would make that process not only easier on staff and the finance department to get those payments processed, but we would know that we're getting the correct information for the correct time period and be able to stay on top of it in that manner. The finance department has requested that we submit requisitions for all of our 380 agreements, which is an excellent idea to be able to keep track of what we've paid and what we still need to pay. And this data will help us do that again with complete accuracy.
Can you tell us how many 380 agreements we have currently active?
7 agreements we have, I believe 5 are active.
Okay.
What was the question?
How many active 380 agreements
Okay.
do we have in place?
380.
So if you don't mind, I'll move to section 2 with the benefits of working with HDL.
Before you do, can you, in layman's terms, let the audience and even some of our new board members know what is a 380 agreement?
Of course. A Chapter 380 agreement is an incentive agreement that we offer to major developments coming into the city on a case-by-case basis. Chapter 380 agreements allow for a certain amount of sales tax to be reimbursed over a certain period of time. So the cap on that period of time is 10 years, and within that time, the EDC and the city can designate how much money is to be reimbursed to the entity throughout that given period. The way it works is that if they reach that reimbursement amount before the 10 years, that's great, they've gotten that money back, and the Chapter 380 agreement is ended. If they do not receive all of that reimbursement due to performance level or what have you, they get the amount that they generated in that 10 years, but then again, the Chapter 380 ends.
In my recollection, Tanger was a 10-year agreement that got paid off in, I believe, just over 7 years. So that was one of our great success stories there. All that.
Yep.
That
And
was,
they're still
on a
going
fast track.
gangbusters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost all of those sales tax agreements are designed for where they're paid off over a 10-year time period. We prefer when they have done such a great job in their business, the business has been successful and the revenue comes in, that we can pay them off earlier. But most of them are for a 10-year time period, and then we estimate what that total amount of revenue is going to be over that 10-year time period. Most of our agreements are somewhere in the $1.5 million range, and then they get paid back within that 10-year time period maximum. So there's a portion of the sales tax, basically a half a penny off of every item that is sold goes into, well, it goes into economic development, and then they get a portion, half of that half a penny goes back to that business. One of the key components of what Kristen's about to talk about is one of the things the company does is they can give us specific reports for those specific businesses. But another thing that they do is they can go in and they can go into the systems which we don't have the ability to do to determine where are we missing some money that people are paying companies. For an example, let's say they have a business here in Texas City, but that business, their home office is in Houston. Well, is that sales tax going to Houston, or is that sales tax coming back here to Texas City where it's supposed to be? So the next part of the agreement that she's going to talk about will help us recoup that money and track that money. Forecast was coming in, not only locally here, it was happening on a national basis. They'll give us the top 100 industries in Texas City and how that how they rank from month to month, how they rate from year to year. They'll provide us information on, I said the top 100 all the way down to the top 10. They'll rank them. There's just a whole bunch of information that we can use to provide you, the city commission, the mayor, and
EDC.
and the city commission that we're not receiving at this time. We do a great job from an accounting standpoint tracking the money that comes in. It's all this other stuff that HDL can do for us that will help us do a better job of forecasting not only what we get for the EDC, but the city as well. And it's just a great service. Most cities, not most cities, but every city that I'm aware of utilizes a company like this to track their EDC dollars.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Did we have other people that we looked at, or was this the only company we looked at for doing this service?
This is one of the companies. They've been competitively bid out in the market, and we can join another, utilize another agreement. There's a couple of entities, but what they do differently than the others are go after that additional revenue that we're not getting, and that kind of sets them apart.
Yeah. I guess just for understanding, point of sale is where the tax is to be involved. So if it's sold in the Texas City, then Texas City gets that money. And if it doesn't get picked up, then it'll get returned to us through this process.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if it's a case where that's not happening, that's, as Sean said, where the
understand.
sales tax audit research comes into play. So just to expand a little further into that, what HDL does is they'll conduct audits on new and existing businesses to make sure the city is getting the sales tax that it's entitled to. The city would only profit share with HDL in the event that their work specifically identifies an account that's in need of correction, delinquent, not paying, what have you. An audit and recovery fee of only 25% will be billed in those situations only, again, where HDL's work results in sales tax revenue improvements. Put another way, we're not going to be paying them for anything unless we're getting more sales tax than we would have had without them. The final benefit of the HDL agreement that I personally am very excited about is their economic development reporting. For a small amount in addition to their base agreement, they will provide us with void analysis, gap analysis, extensive demographics beyond what we have available to us currently. And this information will be especially useful as we get more aggressive with our retail searches and pulling additional retail into the city. Basically, what that information tells us is what businesses do we not have here? What businesses do we need here? And what businesses are we losing out on our residents going to other cities to spend their money instead of staying in Texas City? With that information, we can effectively target the businesses that we effectively need here in the city. If you look at the screen here, this is the list I was referencing with the individual reporting that would be available to us with HDL's help. So as you can see what John was referencing, not only do we have sales tax payment detail, we have top 30 taxpayers, top 100, year-to-date variance, industry segment ranking, the star summary package that I had mentioned, a little bit more of that star detail, and others. Oh, there is also a reporting based on our NAICS codes. So, and I know y'all recall in the strategic plan, we identified specific NAICS codes that we'd be looking for in terms of our target industries. This helps us track whether or not we're actually getting those and where we could look for more.
In addition to sales tax audits and working with the comptroller and making sure that all, as you stated, point of sales tax are reported, paid out, this company, and I'm asking this question, would this company also be responsible for helping us internally administer the conditions of the 380 agreements that we have with the respective companies?
I would say yes, because their information is going to help us get that correct amount to be able to carry out our 380 payments. With that information, it's going to, again, make it a whole lot easier and a whole lot more direct to be able to stay on top and reimburse as we are legally bound.
Kristen, if I can add to that. So the reports that we get are the actual sales tax that's paid to the city. And we'll know by business, we'll have a record of the entire year. So we will be able to go back and very specifically, very easily take that information and generate an invoice to the entities that we have 380 agreements with. It'll be, all we'll really have to do is create that invoice, and that's it. All the information will come to us directly.
Will they be here on a monthly basis? Is everything remote? How's that process handling with this group?
In the last 3 years, I think I've seen Katie Biggers with HDL something like 10 times. She's at many of the professional conferences that we attend, and they come to the area periodically. So if there were ever a want for them to come and present some of these reports to you in person, I believe we could arrange that.
Sure. Okay. The reports, is that on an annual basis as far as finalizing, and that would be what's our fiscal years? December 30 or September? What's that?
Sales tax comes in, and we get a monthly report
Yeah.
on the actual sales tax that is generated. So basically, we'll have a complete report at the end of each month, and then at the end of the year, we'll have a total. And we'll get to see through a variety of these reports where we stand, at any given time compared compared to this month to last year's month, or last year at this time. It's a great tool that, most EDCs utilize to forecast and to track their revenues.
Thank you, John.
Further discussion or comments?
I personally think $7,200 annually is a nominal fee, or just compared to the amount of sales tax generated by some of these partners that we have that are entering 380 agreements. They're no small organizations, and I think this is one of those things that's going to pay for itself.
Yeah, I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I would ask for an amendment to the motion and approval by the second, that this would be, I know this has been vetted by city legal, but ask for an additional level of scrutiny with regard to make sure that this agreement is compliant with Texas law. 3 sessions ago, the legislature passed a law that requires that there are certain notice requirements for any governmental entity contract that is a contingency fee contract. To the extent that there is a contingency fee in here for them to gain some compensation based on their findings, I just want to make sure that we're completely compliant with the law on that. So with the permission of the movement in the second, I would offer the amendment to subject to legal approval by city legal.
I agree to the amendment.
I amend my motion to, I'd like to amend the motion to include some oversight from legal to ensure that we are in compliance with any laws that address the contingency fees.
Thank you.
I'm sure Kyle will be happy to oblige.
Okay.
And I can provide him that site to just off the top of my head. I don't know that it applies, but it was a very vague and broad written law, and it caught my firm's business up in that too, which was not the intention. So I don't want this to be swept up in it. So with all that, is there further discussion on the motion?
Thank you.
Sensing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion say so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously as amended. Thank you.
That's why Mark is the chair.
Sir?
That's why we couldn't live without him.
In a minute.
Thank you. Agenda item 6H, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-41, authorizing a contribution to Higher Up Texas in the amount of $2,500.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the EDC budget contains a contributions and donations line item. While the bulk of those funds are earmarked for this year, including to support our workforce liaison with the Texas City ISD, who's doing amazing, by the way, a small amount of discretionary funds are available for use. Staff is seeking approval to allocate $2,500 for the purpose of supporting Higher Up Texas as they pursue a dedicated classroom at Texas City High School, which would allow space for hands-on, strength-based instruction in areas such as financial literacy, professional development, workforce development, communication, civic engagement, and more. I've personally learned more about this organization in the last couple of years. They support not only Texas City ISD, but also Dickinson ISD, ensuring that students in Texas City, Lamarck, and in the Dickinson area have access to this program. They do an incredible job bringing professional panels in front of the kids to teach them about civic responsibility and preparing for the workforce and their soft skills. I really admire the work that Higher Up Texas does, and I would really like to see us support them in this relatively small amount since they are seeking to further establish their program.
I might add that the community center in Lamarck has just been completely renovated, and they have classroom facilities in there. It's very nice.
Which one's that?
They just named it after a retired teacher
Ms.
from
Gary?
Lamarck.
Ms. Vera Gary?
Gary, yeah. And it's adequate, very nice.
Just curious, are they a 501c3?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, just question for clarification. That's not is that the area that Higher Up Texas is going to be working out of, the building you just mentioned, the Gary Support Center? Mr. Dieter?
As far as I know, it's for Texas City Lamarck.
So
That facility is, I think they had just another 3-4 weeks to complete some little touch-up work.
Mr. Diedel's right. So basically, Higher Up Texas moves around. They see students in Dickinson, they see students in Lamarck, they see students in Texas City, and they have specific class periods throughout the day. So by having the dedicated office space at Texas City High School, that means that Texas City High School students have a dedicated place to go during their school day for these classes.
And that's what this money is to support.
Yes, sir, that's right.
Okay. I am 100% in support of Higher Up Texas and what they're doing for the students. I'm confused as to, I've never heard of an entity having to pay for classroom space to exist in a school that is assisting their students.
There is an attachment on the item that discusses it a little bit further. Renee, if you don't mind opening that. So it's not just having a dedicated classroom, it also supports supplemental materials and supplies to enrich that classroom's learning, guest speakers and career panel events, interactive tools and curriculum enhancements, and a professional environment for student development.
Mary, you're correct. There's no charge for the actual classroom, but these other entities that they're going to provide, I think, are worth that amount of money.
Yeah, that clears it up. I just wanted to make sure we weren't renting classroom space in a school building. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question about, this talks about currently serving students in Texas City, from Texas City Lamarck and Texas City High Schools.
Mm-hmm.
The prior ones also talked about Dickinson ISD. Is any of this earmarked then to help those Texas City students that attend Dickinson ISD?
Yes, sir. Higher Up functions, as I had mentioned, both in Texas City High School and Dickinson High School. As you know well, a good portion of Texas City students do attend Dickinson ISD schools.
So they would make that determination within Higher Up Texas.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's Texas City.
Yeah.
Sure. Understand. Thank you. Good question.
Yeah, Board, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-41, authorizing a contribution to Higher Up Texas in the amount of $2,500. There further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and the motion passes unanimously. Agenda item 6I, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-42, authorizing the approval of purchase of 2 adjacent properties located within the industrial business district.
Yes, sir. The Economic Development Corporation has historically purchased property located within the industrial business district, i.e. the IBD, which cannot be used for residential or general retail purposes, to support light industrial use and to provide a buffer between industrial development and residential development. Economic development staff were approached by Clara Holcomb, representing property owner and husband Charles Holcomb, who owns 2 pieces of property within the IBD. There is one structure on the property, as you can see pictured in the aerial view there on the right. The addresses, GCAD IDs, and sizes are as follows. So the 182201 is the addressed location, and that's 310 13th Street South. The 182199 is additional property, obviously immediately adjacent, and both of those pieces are 0.143 acres in size. The image you see below is our zoning tool that just shows that those 2 pieces of property are located within the IBD, their property ID, etc. Given the $2.55 per square foot purchase price the EDC would typically consider when purchasing IBD property, the total cost to acquire both pieces would be $31,768.31. Staff has communicated a conditional offer to purchase the properties for the cost above, contingent upon the approval of the EDC. Clara Holcomb has indicated that they are fully prepared to accept that offer if approved today.
Is the structure currently owned and occupied as a primary residence, or is?
No, sir. I believe they're looking to sell the property, and that would include the
But is it currently occupied as someone's residence or? do they
Not that
reside
she
there?
mentioned.
Okay.
So is that something that will sooner or later have to be torn down, demolished?
More than likely, yes, sir.
Can we just verify, after this, whichever way we vote, can we just verify that if it's occupied or not?
I will definitely ask. I have not been given that understanding whatsoever by Mrs. Holcomb.
So when we established the $2.55 per square foot in this area zone, it doesn't matter whether it has anything on it or everything on it that's extra additional costs.
The way the program works is that we just look at the land value, not the structure value.
Particularly given that it has a residential structure on it and the change of ownership cannot be used for residential
That's
purposes. So
Right.
there's no value there.
All right. Move for approval on this.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-42, approving purchase of 2 adjacent properties located within the industrial business district. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for your support today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we now move to agenda item 7, updates and reports. Do we have anyone here from Chamber, School District, Small Business Development, anyone here?
Yeah, someone here from
So,
industry. Mr. Chair, would you like to give us any industrial updates, Mr. Travis Belts of Marathon GBR?
I don't have any industrial updates, I guess. Refineries like they should be.
Thank you for being here.
thank you.
Tomorrow night at Community City.
Mr. Chair, board members, we have a couple of staff updates we'd like to present to you, but I'd like to start off by saying our very own Economic Development Director, Kristen Edwards, was recently nominated and elected as the Vice Chair of the Houston Region Economic Development Alliance. So that doesn't happen without a lot of effort. She's involved with the organization and with the Greater Houston Partnership. They're also part of it. All of these entities work together towards economic development in the region. And for her to be nominated as the vice chair, ultimately becoming the chair, is a great acknowledgement of her efforts. So kudos to Kristen.
Congratulations, and
Absolutely.
well deserved. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I can't tell you how excited I am. It's going to be so cool. So we have lots more talking points. I will talk fast, I promise. Okay, update from Marathon on the fractionation project. Jean Gould, their communications professional, and I are in communication. She's offered to give us a site tour of their fractionation project, which is in construction on Loop 197 as we speak. She indicated that construction has ramped up significantly in the recent weeks. So if there's anyone that would like to take her up on that offer, please let me know and I'll facilitate. I'm definitely going, and I'll wear, proper footwear. So just let me know if you'd like to come do that. Update on our Shoal Point projects. We have had some productive conversations between Energy Transfer and Galveston Industries regarding the placement of a pipeline on Shoal Point that would traverse Galveston Industries property. The gas pipeline, which Energy Transfer would own and insure, would provide mandatory feedstock for the Galveston LNG bunker port project. So essentially, if we figured this out, we figured out a major puzzle piece to being able to get both of those projects to work cooperatively. And we'll keep you abreast of how those conversations continue. An update on our Colliers agreement as well as the road itself. As you recall, the city has contracted with Colliers Engineering to determine a preferred route for the road connecting Loop 197 to Shoal Point, making the projects out there viable long-term. We've had about a dozen stakeholder meetings with partners and landowners that could potentially be impacted by road construction. So Colliers, myself, and the stakeholder participated in each of those meetings. And as a result of those conversations, Colliers will have a recommendation for our road route during the first week of December, which is awesome. Yeah. This information will come just in time for a meeting with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, where we will sit down with both operations and regulatory as we begin to tackle the renewal of our existing Corps permit for that road itself, as well as for a container terminal project that was part of the permit in 2003. Really looking forward to that meeting and giving us a roadmap going forward. While our current Corps permit does extend through December of 2026, we've received some very excellent advice by their operations staff to get this in there as soon as we can. With it being, a major effort that would impact a lot of partners, we want to have as much time as we can, which is great that we've had that conversation now and we can get it started even before the holidays. We will likely bring an item back to you for selecting a firm to assist with that process, so more on that later. An update on the Corps dredging project. We've been meeting with the Corps on a regular basis related to their upcoming dredging process for this year, which will begin on either November 26th, 27th, or 28th, somewhere in there. During this year's round of dredging, the Corps will be placing dredge material along the dike in 3 different areas in 3 different stages. So that will be essentially the center of the dike around PAs 2A and 2B. Then they'll go to the very front furthest portion of the dike and then come back to where the dike meets the mainland. We will receive weekly reports that we're happy to share with this group as desired. Related to the mural item that we had brought last meeting, I wanted to update you. So I did some additional research based on mural pricing we received from 3 of our applicants from our original RFP process, and I went back to them specifically to ask what their pricing would be for a 15 by 100. It's good that we didn't assume that it would have been proportional because they had different sizes, and I found somebody that can do really good work for us that's already done a mural for us in the past for a more reasonable amount of money. We also still have the bid from Generosity Services to be able to act on when we choose. And we developed the deed restriction document that we discussed in our last meeting. Thank you to Kyle for that. The business owner needs to get a couple of things back in good standing with the state before she's able to legally sign that agreement. But then it would essentially function as a deed restriction, which would stay with the property. So in the future, when a different person may or may not own that building, they are not able to tamper or change the mural. It would be the city's purview. So as soon as we can get her back where she needs to be with the state, we'll bring that whole issue back to y'all for your consideration. Pipelines workshop. If y'all remember in our last meeting, we discussed the pipelines workforce development workshop to take place on October 21st. We had that. It was great. We had teachers, business owners, and nonprofits together in the same room to discuss that workforce development initiative. Our next step will be to review all of the feedback we received, which we're starting tomorrow as a group. In our latest meeting of the Education Committee through the Chamber, we also discussed focusing on shipbuilding skills, as there are major projects coming to the Gulf Coast, including not only Gulf Copper, which is doing icebreakers and Coast Guard ships, but also Davy, which is a massive shipbuilding undertaking that's going to be coming to the region, creating a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunity, and these are good jobs. These are $85,000 to $115,000 paying jobs. So we're kind of talking about meeting the need that exists right now with this initiative, and then continuing to work on the other pipelines, but making sure that we're getting students ready to capitalize on these very good jobs. So I'll keep y'all updated as far as that goes. Phoenix update. Thank you to the dedicated work of our head Phoenix. Ariel is our head Phoenix. We now have a total of 5 clients in the Phoenix Business Accelerator. That includes 3 enterprise clients and 2 Cubby memberships. Additionally, we have 3 pending new member applications. So we're very excited to see that continuing to grow, and that's a testament to her being present in the building, offering those tours, answering questions, and being present at events like our Small Business Success Series to get flyers in the hands of people that could really use them. Finally, a community plaza update. Thanks to Ms. Jade Jones, who is with us as well. We've had 2 very successful events at the plaza just in the last week, including a fundraiser for the United Way and our second monthly concert featuring Mango Punch. I'm allergic to mango, and I had the Habitat for Humanity banquet, so that worked out well. Jade has been doing an excellent job manning those events and communicating with participants and vendors. She's doing a fantastic job setting up events, and she's initiated a holiday market, which we're already seeing some excellent response for. So very proud of the efforts of both of these ladies.
Awesome.
Question back on Collier and the Ready by December. Will that presentation be made to this group as far as their selected route?
I'm happy to do that. We will have an EDC meeting in December. I'll try to make it as early in the month as I can.
Yeah.
But we'll probably target that second week in December so we can get the results back, digest them ourselves, and present them to you.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else? I would want to acknowledge Commissioner DeAndre Noxon with us today. Thank you for being here. As always, good to see you. Anything else for the good of our community? All right. In the absence of a motion otherwise, we stand adjourned. The time is 4:07. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Renee?
Good job, Renee.